Now, shifting focus to California, at least 5 people were killed and more than 1,000 structures have been destroyed as fierce wildfire rage in Los Angeles area of California. Now, fast-moving flames burned through homes and businesses as thousands of residents fled the area. At least 5 people have been killed, and even as effort to douse fire remain underway. Now, 3 fires continue to burn uncontrollably in that area. The Palisades fire, the Eaton fire and the Hearst fire continue to rage even as evacuation for at least 1 lakh residents continues.
We just drove to Altadena, and just happened upon this block, got out, and I imagine it is like that. And you hear these explosions. There was an explosion that I caught. I put it on Instagram about 20 minutes ago from a house right down there. Just heard an explosion, and that is, gas canisters, propane tanks go off. So you hear these steady booms off in the distance or sometimes uncomfortably close. But look, see, that's the crew I was talking to before. They've now moved down. They're scoping out, let's walk over. They're looking at these houses. I'm assuming if they're going to stop here, maybe they would have decided these are defensible houses, and they're going to try to do what they can. There was a woman who lives in that house, that second house down there, about 5 minutes ago. We saw her on her lawn, and she looked very confused. And I mean, I'm no expert, but I said to her, I think you should leave. And she did. She had actually come back to just get some stuff. But when this house exploded, and it was quite loud, I think that freaked her out and made her realize maybe she should get out. Anyway, she got in her vehicle. She got her cat. She's gone. But it looks like this fire truck now, it looks like they're just going somewhere else. It's an extraordinary thing. 30 minutes from here in Hollywood or West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, there's coffee shops open, and you can see smoke in the air. You get in your car, you come here. These areas are blocked off, but it's so close to where regular life is continuing. And for the people on this block, their lives now are forever changed. Look, this fire is now spreading down this block. We've been watching this. Here's what happened on this block. This house was on flames. Let's walk over here. There's a down cable line, so we just want to be careful about that. Let's go around it. Okay, so now the house next door caught. This tree exploded into flames. You can see up in the palm trees now, those embers made those trees go on fire. I don't know if you can see through the smoke. Behind the palm trees, there are now these very tall vertical trees. I don't know much about shrubbery. I don't know what they're called, but they're huge, tall trees. They are now just like flames shooting up into the air. This second house now, I mean, that is just gone. That car, I believe that's the explosion we heard a short time ago that I recorded. But now look, it's spread down. This is new. Yeah, we've been watching. See, it then spreads from these trees. Look at all these embers. I don't know if you can pan up, but look at all these embers just flying up. You see them in the smoke. All of that, the winds are have died down here, but those can just get picked up by winds for miles, and they can go for miles and light down, fall on somebody's roof, and a whole new fire will pop up. So this house is gone. This house is now underway. The left side of this house is ignited, and also now the house nearby it. But literally, I mean, these embers are like snowflakes. They're falling all around us. The sun, I mean, this is what's so crazy. If you can't even see the sun. It is completely blacked out. What's the latest?
Well, 5 dead, likely more. Just complete and utter devastation. I've been in a lot of these fires, a lot, going back to Paradise, and this approximates Paradise. It's not a numeric. It's just a feeling, sense of loss, place, belonging.
Still no containment.
No, we're at zero containment. The winds have been a little bit more favorable, as you've seen in the last few hours. So we've got the helicopters back up. We've got some fixed-wing aircraft. Out on the coasts, it's a little different. It's pretty intense. We have 23 aerial assets just at the Palisades, but a lot of them are not operational because of those winds. So it's a combination of challenges. That said, we've depleted all our resources. Northern California, we'd already pre-positioned on Sunday hundreds of personnel, specialty units, water tenders, dozers, engines, helicopters, and it wasn't enough. And now we're getting the mutual aid system, the EMAC system. Governors from all across the country are calling. Oregon sending a few dozen engines, and Arizona, Utah. We're just grateful for all the support.
A lot of these firefighters I was talking to on the street, they've been working, 26, 27 hours. Are they? That's just going to continue? I mean, there's enough folks here.
Yeah, I mean, we got a few thousand people working on this, and luckily we were fully staffed. The U.S. Forest Service is staffed up traditionally at this time of year. Remember, we're in January.
It's supposed to be wet this time of year.
It's supposed to be wet. I mean, so this is anomalous. I remember Paradise happened in November. I mean, so there's no fire season in California. It's year round, but to have this level, the acuity of fires is without precedent. These winds are without precedent, and the challenge is these winds are going to continue on and off, a little bit less intense. Last night, you got 80, 90-mile-an-hour winds. These guys were just up there to try to mitigate the embers going 2 miles and getting just to go a quarter of a mile to try to save some.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades, it ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter on this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, whether it be pipe, electricity, or whether it just be the complete overwhelm of the system. I mean, those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's going to be determined by the local
authorities. Were saying part of it is the gravity, that it's these giant tanks on top of the mountains, which...
Yeah, well, they're going down. We were just with the team. They're getting the tenders down to Pasadena, filling things back up, coming back up. So it's just
Are aerial assets now able to fly?
Yeah, they've been the last few hours, particularly helicopters. Fixed wings been up a little bit earlier, but out on the coast it's been a little more stubborn because those winds are swirling. The challenge is, you can see that they can fly. It's not a question of turbulence or anything else. It's just the mitigation's flying all over the place, so it doesn't have any benefit necessarily. So we've got National Guard working the rattlesnake teams out there on the line. We're also trying to bring them in to supplement some of the law enforcement efforts as well. It's all hands on deck across the spectrum. The biggest thing, though, Anderson, that happened today, sincerely, and you can appreciate it in a community like this, to get that direct individual assistance with the major disaster declaration within 36 hours of this incident from the president was a game changer for this community, for small businesses, et cetera. So not that we're thinking about the next phase, but we have to be thinking concurrently about the next phase is how we rebuild this community. But right now we're in this mitigation phase. We're in the public safety phase.
I hate to even ask this question, but the president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
One can't even respond to it. I mean, people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to a president of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden. And he had the backs of every single person in this community. He didn't play politics, didn't try to divide any of us.
Finally, your message to the folks here, to this community.
I mean, we have their backs, and we're going to be back. And this is going to be a long recovery process. But look, we have residents moving back into Paradise, California. I've seen remarkable recovery efforts. I've seen remarkable sense of community, purpose, resilience. So, I'm not just playing the politician role of optimism. I really am long-term optimistic. But the devastation to hear people wailing and crying, concerned about their pet, their family, they're just bewildered about what they're experiencing. And again, not just experience. I was not talking past tense. This is happening in real time. 0% containment.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. More news and update on the other side. Stay tuned to CNN News 8.